Welcome to the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast with your host, Cody Janssen.
What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Cody Janssen, and welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast. This is episode 17, our 2020 season preview podcast brought to you by CST Tires. The Daytona ATV Supercross is just over a week away now, and I can't believe the season opening pro-only event is already here. The event will take place Tuesday, March 10th inside the hallowed grounds of Daytona International Speedway, and this episode will serve up everything you need to know heading into the first gate drop of the 2020 season. I don't believe there has ever been a more in-depth look into ATV motocross, and I think you'll find you're more in tune and pumped up to watch the races after listening to this episode. We'll cover the rookie class of AMA ATV Pros, discuss Rastrelli's move to Phoenix Racing Honda, speculate on how reigning AMA ATV Pro Rookie of the Year Brandon Hoag will do in his sophomore campaign, and how Pro-Am champion Bryce will try to live up to the hype. Who will be the last man standing in the never-ending battle between Thomas Brown and Jeffrey Rastrelli, and predict the most improved pro, Daytona winner, series champion, and a bold prediction or two. We literally talk about every single pro holding a license as of today, and I'm proud of this content. It's something that the sport needs, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. But before we dive in, let's thank all the great people who make this possible. We are proud to announce new show sponsor, Gripped Gloves. Gripped is an ATV rider owned and operated brand with the rider in mind and the goal of keeping costs affordable. The Michigan-based family operation recognizes riders' desire to showcase their identity with eccentric colorways and crazy patterns, something not often found in the work of big manufacturers. Here to push stereotypes and limitations, Gripped is driven to produce a glove with cool colors and designs that won't break the bank. Get a grip on life. Check them out today at grippedgloves.com. That's GRIPT gloves.com. Thanks to Motorsports Powerhouse and show sponsor, Yamaha. We are proud to partner with the winningest manufacturer of the past decade in ATV motocross and the #1 OEM supporter of ATV racing. The Digging Deep ATVMX podcast is Team Blue Crew. Thank you, Yamaha. Check them out at YamahaOutdoors.com. Thanks to another sponsor that is of racing royalty and longtime sponsor of my personal racing efforts, Valvoline. For over 150 years, Valvoline has been dedicated to innovating and improving your driving and riding experience. The world's oldest oil company still leads the charge with unrivaled products and lubricants. Thanks to Team Valvoline for coming on board. Thanks to our title sponsor, CST Tires, CSTTires.com. The Pulse MXR tire is the best tire on the market no matter what the terrain. Join the CST takeover today or prepare to be beat by someone who did. CST Tires, where passion meets the ground. Thanks to SSI Decals. SSI Decals was a key contributor to Team USA's winning efforts at the Quad Cross of Nations and, simply put, is the decal choice of champions everywhere. Their track record speaks for itself. Champions choose SSI Decals for unmatched look and quality. Thanks to those guys. Check them out today at SSIDecals.com. Thank you to DID Racing Chain and their 520 ATV2 X-Ring chain. Team USA, Joel Hetrick, and myself all trusted DID's unrivaled chain quality all the way to championship victory this past season. Wherever you go, go with DID. Thank you, Namura Technologies. Namura, pistons with an attitude. Namura has led the charge in the ATV and side-by-side market since 2001 with their wide array of pistons, rings, gaskets, and industry-leading top-end repair kits. Visit your local dealer or online at namura.com. That's NAMURA.com. Also, a big thanks to Bronco ATV and UTV components. Bronco has been the industry leader in replacement hard parts and accessories for all makes and models for over 15 years. Whether it's electrical components, engine internals like rods and cylinders, suspension parts, or bearing kits, the Bronco is your hard parts source when it comes to whatever you need for whatever you ride. BroncoATV.com. Thanks to Forworks Carbon for their continued support. Known for their hoods, seat covers, array of carbon parts, and so much more, Forworks is your one-stop shop to give your ATV a new and improved look with increased function for 2020. New year, new look with Forworks Carbon. Head over to their social media pages or website today. Thanks to Forworks Carbon. Thanks as always to Evans Waterless Power Sports Coolant. Upgrade to Evans now to avoid overheating and boil over next time you hit the track. When conditions are at their worst, Evans is at its best. Use discount code DIGGINGDEEP20 to save at checkout, evanscoolant.com. Thanks to DP Brakes, the unquestioned leader in motorsports and powersports braking. DP is the brand responsible for allowing Joel Hetrick, myself, and so many others to outbrake the competition every time we hit the racetrack. It's not too late to join the team, so act fast. dp-brakes.com. Thanks to Blenders Eyewear, whose Life in Forward Motion brand is the perfect fit to partner with our podcast. You won't find better shades for a more attractive price anywhere else. Use discount code DIGGINGDEEP20 to save on the trendiest shades on the market. BlendersEyewear.com. Thanks to Oats Overnight. Life is hard. Make breakfast easy. Simply combine with milk before bed and enjoy your to-go breakfast in the morning. Overnight oatmeal loaded with superfoods, perfect for athletes. Use discount code DIGGINGDEEP10 to save at checkout. OatsOvernight.com. Thank you, Mountaineer Brand. If you know me, you know I love my beard. That's why I treat it right with Mountaineer Brand's all-natural washes, oils, balms, and more. Use discount code CODY'sFave in all caps, that's CODYSFAV in all caps, Cody's Fave at mountaineerbrand.com. And finally, we are proud to announce our partnership with Avocado Green Mattresses. We all know that sleep and rest are an important part of any athlete's routine. Avocado's line of natural mattresses and pillows provides exactly the support you need to ensure you perform at your best while doing the best for the planet. The Avocado mattress offers zone back support with an internal support unit, meaning whether you are recovering from a hard day of riding or relaxing on a Sunday morning, you will be experiencing next level comfort. With a 100-day sleep trial, free shipping, free return pickups, and a 25-year warranty, getting your Avocado Green mattress could not be any easier. Step up your sleep game by visiting avocadomattress.com. From our new partners to our original sponsors, thanks for supporting the #1 podcast in ATV racing and making this dream a reality for both us and our listeners. We pride ourselves in partnering with only the best brands in the industry, so better your riding experience and your lifestyle by supporting the sponsors who support us. If you enjoy the show, the best thing you can do is support our partners. And if you're interested in becoming a partner of the show, shoot me a message or email today for more details. Once again, thanks to all of our sponsors. And now, joining me for an in-depth look at Pro Class racing to get you ready for Daytona and beyond, a guy who won a handful of Pro-Am events from 2012 to 2014, longtime pro and fan favorite Sean Taylor, and multi-time ATVMX national champion, former Pro-Am event winner, top 10 pro, and AMA ATV Pro Rookie of the Year. It's my buddy, Tyler Hamrick. Enjoy. And now, brought to you by DID Racing Chain and their 520 ATV2 X-Ring chain, we are proud to welcome back to the show two guys who are listener favorites and guys that I did a ton of battling with over the years. Mr. Tyler Hamrick, welcome back, Hammy.
What's going on?
And Shawnee T, Sean Taylor, thanks for coming back to the show.
Yo, what's up, man? Glad to be back.
Yeah, excited to have you guys back on. I can't believe that we're less than 2 weeks away from Daytona, so I figured we had to get the guys back together, talk some racing, and racing's right around the corner, so it's crazy to think that it's already that time of year again.
Yeah, I feel like the off season went by really quick, and now what are they? A week out from Daytona, which would be the start of the pro season for those guys, and yeah, it doesn't seem like it should be this soon, or it doesn't seem like it should be the first round already, I guess.
Yeah, it's crazy, especially it's got to be flying by for those guys too, putting in all that hard work. Yeah, it's unreal. So all three of us raced Daytona, the Daytona ATV Supercross, at least once. So what do you guys remember from kind of like the emotions and stuff that came up for the season opener down there? Hammy, why don't you start us off?
A lot of nerves, like a lot of pressure, being the first Daytona ATV Supercross. I just wanted to qualify. I was in like a position I really wasn't getting to ride a whole lot that winter, so I was just kind of winging it going down there, and just really nervous but anxious too, being like a part of something for the first time. Like that's something I'll never forget, and like I kind of boast about it. I was able to be one of the first groups to ever on an ATV racing side of that racetrack. So I mean, it was super cool, but I was definitely nervous. That's for sure.
So was that the only year you raced it? Was 15?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, okay.
That was the one and only.
And that was somebody brought this up to me the other day, but there was like 26 or 25 or 27. There was like a huge number of guys that year. So like almost 10 guys didn't make it. And yeah, I remember being a nervous wreck that I wasn't going to make the main. So
Yeah.
I didn't make it. I don't think.
Really?
I don't think. I'm trying to think of which one.
Really?
Yeah, one of the years, I blew up an engine on the face of the finish line jump and went over the bars there. And then I don't even think I had a spare with me then, because I came from Iowa, and then I had a practice bike, but I didn't swap them out, so I didn't even race the main that year.
Oh, okay. Because I remember you just like bolting down, basically like no riding time, right? And just bolted down, raced, and then was going to kind of try to get in the swing of the things for the rest of the year after that. Yep.
And then the next year is what we were just talking about, is when there was like 19, and then they did the stack. You know, they put guys behind the gate. So then I raced that year, which I think that would have been my last season. So 2017.
17. Yep.
Yeah,
I remember that. And yeah, so, you know, it looks like there's going to be 19 guys. We got the list of guys, the sign-up list right here, the pre-entry list. And with 19 guys, yeah, that's a kind of a talking point there, because I don't know if they'll just take everybody to the main. You know, they probably, with 19 guys and 16 normally they take, probably don't want to send 3 guys home. But, I mean, it'd be interesting to see what they decide to do there. So it's not going to be the same as what it was, though, when it was, you know, kind of the first Supercrosses for us there. And there was, like I said, there was 10 guys or about that weren't going to make it. And man, I remember thinking like, man, I've been in Florida for like a month, and if I've been down here, spent all this money, spend like however many thousands of dollars to do the Daytona thing, and if I don't make the main, this is not going to be good.
Long drive home.
Yeah, I remember it being, you know, that since that was our first Supercross, you know, everybody was pretty much kind of new to it, because we just raced motocross all year long.
Of course.
So just like the timing and, you know, trying to adjust to a tight track like that, it was something different. And then with there was so many quads on there, you had train track ruts and all the turns basically. And then, you know, cross style jumps for everything else. But I remember being super nervous that very first year.
You've seen some of that change, because you're seeing guys ride more Supercross style tracks to prepare for it. You know, like I know the Ford crew and Thomas down there, like they're riding some Supercross style stuff to get ready for it. Cause he even said on the last episode we did that they have some Supercross days. And I don't know what they're all riding at Club MX, if there's like a Supercross style thing for the quads down there, but either way, it seems like everybody's kind of riding some more technical stuff. When I remember for us, you know, 5 years ago or however long it would have been, I mean, we were just hammering down motos on outdoor tracks and, but you know, that's
just
key.
Trying to find sand.
Exactly. It's key though, because I mean, fitness is so important, especially this time of the year. Like you can tell the dudes that have it figured out, and then you can tell the guys that, I mean, they might have, like us, there was plenty of years where all of us like went into the season without a ton of riding time, just because, I mean, we couldn't afford to not be at home working or whatever.
Right. Yep. But, I agree.
Yeah. Totally. So as we try to break down the pro class from top to bottom, you know, I kind of want to start off with the rookie class, because, you know, a lot of people wanted to hear about the rookies. I think it's a pretty good class. And so I guess, first of all, we'll list the guys that are kind of scheduled to make their debut. And it's worth mentioning that most of them made that debut of theirs at Ironman last fall at the season finale pro only event there. But this is going to be their first kind of full on run at the pro class. So you got your defending Pro-Am and Open Pro Sport champion, Bryce Ford. And then you have Logan Stanfield, Noah Mickelson, Brogan Geyer, Troy Hill, and most recently announced Ty Hudson. They're all going to make their pro debut in 2020. They're all signed up for Daytona, so they're going to try to hit the ground running. And, you know, Bryce is obviously the headliner of that pro class of rookies. We saw what he did against these riders last year in Pro-Am. And let's start with him, because I know that he's got the speed to mix it up at the front right away. I guess, what do you guys expect from him? And I guess we'll start with just Daytona, and then you can kind of mention what you expect for him for the season. So Sean, we'll start with you on this one.
He's been training with Thomas Brown, so I think I'd expect him to be running up front, or up in that, let's say top 6 guys. I would say I think he should be able to compete at that level. I mean, people say that he can. I've seen a few videos of him riding online, and I think that he looks good. Just as long as the nerves don't get to him at Daytona, how it is. It's just tight. Not everybody's used to riding with so many guys on a tight technical track like that, to where accidents can happen. Look at Hetrick was a few years ago. I think it was 16 or 17, and he ended up landing on somebody and hit a tough block and hurting his knee really bad. Almost took him out for the whole season. So long as the rookies can get through that first round and get all the excitement out of them, I guess you would say. I think he's well, though.
I think so too. I think he's got a secret weapon with being exposed to Thomas's speed all the time. I think that's something that you can't put a value on. So I think he's going to be more prepared than most people think. But Hammy, what input do you have on this rookie class, and then about Bryce? What are you expecting for Bryce this year?
I definitely think Bryce is the one to beat out of the rookie class. I think he should definitely walk away with the rookie of the year. But as far as Daytona, I think I'm right with Sean. I think he should be top 6, riding with Thomas and his brother. Like, every day they're probably pushing it, and there's no room for like slacking, because you're going to get probably called out. And you don't want to be like the slowest one of like the clique, So, and I've just like Sean, I've seen videos of him riding online, and he does look good. And then as far as like the rest of them, I haven't really been paying much attention, really. I've seen a couple videos of like Logan Stanfield. I think he was just riding like his stock bike. I'm sure he'll do great, top 10, but the rest of them I'm not so sure on.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think that the thing about Daytona specifically, and it's going to be something that aids him all year, but Bryce is such a good starter. I expect him to get good starts in the pro class too, just like he has his whole career, particularly at Daytona, because he's going to be in shape, right? Yep. Because they've been riding for months. So he's going to be in shape. He knows Thomas's speed, and he's going to get a good start. And I think that he could start the year off being a top 5 guy. I really do.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's going to be fun to watch. And we can talk about that group of riders he's going to be battling with in a little bit here. But I think it's going to be really exciting to see what he does. I do think that Stanfield will be good. He's a guy that was fast last year in the Pro-Am class, especially before he got hurt. He was, I think, the closest competition to Bryce last year.
I forgot he got, was it collarbone?
Yes, yes, it was. Yep. It was. And then I think, he just wasn't at full strength later in the year when he came back, which is typical to any motocross athlete that deals with that. So I think that he's a guy, and he's in that same kind of 969 system that he's been in. So he's comfortable. He's going to be racing, in the pro class, but I expect big things out of him. And then Mickelson too. I think that he's another guy that's worth looking at, because he's got a boatload of talent. I think that confidence is key with him. So when he's confident, I think he looks like a completely different rider. And the thing that's like burned into my memory is last year at Ironman in the first moto, when he was making his actual pro debut, one race debut, with 2 laps to go, he was in 7th place, and he looked like the 7th best guy. And he had a motor or something go at the end of that race, right? Or electrical or something like that.
Had a issue. That's right.
Yeah. And you were there, so you saw this. And like in this, say what you want about the rookie class, but if you're the 7th place guy in the class that kind of we are looking at on paper, like that's going to be a pretty good finish.
Oh, hell yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm looking at right now. It's just kind of who's all in the class. And 7th.
7th's going to be pretty strong.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I think that both of those guys are going to kind of contend to be, kind of contend to be top 10 guys. Because again, the class is strong, and Brogan Geyer too. He's only a year removed from, and I know that A class is A class, but the year before last, he looked really, really strong. Like he worked the A class week in and week out. So it was like he was one of those guys that was like, man, if he does this in Pro-Am or in Pro Sport or whatever, he's gonna be at the front of that too. So I'm curious to see what Brogan does. And I mean, Troy Hill is also noteworthy because last year I know he didn't have the year that he wanted, but he's back with his brother and back with Jeremiah Jones as his riding coach, kind of where all his success in the past had been had. So I think you almost got to just disregard what happened last year with the Hudson Yamaha thing, and he's back to his old program. And I mean, he won, I think, what was that, High Point? He won the year before in Pro-Am, and he looked really, really impressive there. So if he's kind of back to that program, plus he's got a year and a half to 2 years worth of kind of maturing since then, I think you could see some strong rides out of him at some point. And Ty Hudson just announced that, he's going to the pro class, and I know he's working hard too. So, I think it is a strong rookie class in my opinion, potentially the most stacked group in recent memory, at least. And Hammy's shaking his head no at me right now. But the thing that you cannot argue is to have 6 guys add into the pro class.
Though. Yeah.
But to add 6 guys into the pro class is a good thing for ATV racing. Okay, now you can Yes, no doubt. But I like quality over quantity. Okay. So this is my argument to that.
Okay, I've named 6 guys right now. Casey Martin, Nick Moser, myself, Sean Taylor, Kyle Fix, Duck Lloyd, someone help me out, Dalton Milliken, who else?
So this is the 13 class.
Yeah,
I
know I'm probably biased on it, but
yep.
Okay, then you look at all them guys that just listed and then look at their backgrounds. You can't even, like, for you to say that, I don't know. You can't compare.
Okay, no that's fine. That's fine. And I won't argue that. But it's also been 7 years since then. So if it's the most stacked rookie class in 7 years, like, that's fine.
Oh, okay. I guess time's flying.
I'd say that it's a pretty stacked rookie class. I mean,
I think so too.
I think
I'm not going to disagree with Hamrick either, because I mean we had a pretty good class going up, but then trying to think of how many years before that 13 class. I mean you had a handful of guys that were pretty quick too that moved up to the pro class, but this class is pretty stacked. These guys, I would say most of these guys in here have a championship in one class or another. I mean, would you agree?
Oh yeah, no, for sure they do. Yeah, they do, because I think obviously we know what Bryce did. Pretty sure Stanfield has a pro sport title from the year prior. Mickelson had won plenty of championships. I know Sean, you were teammates with him for a long time. Yep. And what I probably evaluate him on more than anything is potential. Like, he's got as much potential as anybody, I swear. Like, I've seen about Noah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He's smooth. He's really smooth riding. He's got a really good style. I like his riding style. But yeah, he's definitely got potential to be up front with those guys.
I think so too. I
haven't seen much of him in the off season. I'm sure he's probably just keeping it quiet or something like that. Yeah. But I haven't seen much of him.
Seen the Mickelson brothers race the first GNCC.
Yeah, they do that.
Yeah, they did. I forgot about that. Yep.
Yeah. What did you see? What class Noah's racing? I didn't see that. I just saw Hayden's doing that pro 4x4 class, I think. Still okay.
But I didn't see what Noah did.
I know Noah got 13th, but I didn't know what class he was in. So, so you got anything more about the rookie class? I know it'll be we'll have to wait and see how this plays out, but I think that those guys will be in the mix. And my argument, I don't even think I went into it before, but if you're racing Pro-Am or you're racing Pro, those guys are probably all going to they're all going to be racing against each other. So it's awesome that they're going to be doing that in the Pro class, adding to that class, because you lose those 6 guys and now you're at a 13 rider field or a 14 rider field, and nobody wants to see that. So add in those guys, let them duke it out for whatever class or whatever place it is. And I think that that's good for the Pro class and its health. So moving on from the rookies, kind of want to talk about that Phoenix Racing Honda team. You know, that thing is stacked right now. Obviously, you got the champ Joel Hetrick. He's bringing Noah Mickelson with him. We just talked about him and his potential. And now you have Jeffrey Rastrelli joining the team there. So I want to specifically talk about Jeffrey, about his about that new ride that he's got. We know he's down at Club MX with the boys training hard. What are we thinking about Jeffrey and his new ride, Sean?
To be honest, I didn't even see that coming, that he was going to be riding for Phoenix. I'm happy for him. I think he's earned it. You know, he's worked hard. Now I hope, this year this past season, he struggled a little bit there, quarter of the way through, and then towards the end of the season. But hopefully this ride will, turn things around, give him some confidence, and I'm sure he's been working on his fitness off the bike, and yeah, I'm happy for him. I'm excited to see how he's going to do this year.
Yeah, me too. What do you got, Hammy?
I kind of had a hunch that this would happen over time, just didn't know when. Like him and Joel would link up and be on the same team, but I think he'll do all right. I think he'll be top 5. I don't think he'll make a sudden jump and be the number 2 guy or something like that, but I definitely think he'll be right where he was at last year. Without the illness with the Epstein-Barr and whatnot, but I think it'll be top 5 and he'll be the same Jeffrey that we're used to.
Yeah, I think he's on a good program. Obviously, it's a proven program that can win because Joel just won the championship.
Yep.
I'm just looking forward to seeing Jeffrey back healthy and having a fair shot, because I know just talking to him last year, he was down about having to line up every week, and no, physically he wasn't where he needed to be to give himself a fighting chance. And I shot him a message actually today as we were prepping for this, and he told me that he's feeling good, he's feeling strong, and he's been having so much fun on the bike practicing that he's just going to try to keep it fun at the races. And if he keeps it fun at the races, then that's when he's going to be at his best, is what he told me. So his headspace is obviously good, and he's seeing Joel's speed. Right? He's seeing Joel's speed because they're at the same track. And if he's seeing Joel's speed and his headspace is still really good, then I think that that's a good sign for Jeffrey going forward. We know what to expect from him. I mean, he's not going to be happy with a top 5 though. So
no, he's going to be, I would assume in his eyes, he's going to be expected to, win some motos, try to be on the podium. Obviously the goal is to get on the podium, but I mean, Jeffrey should be winning some motos. Are those, that he's on Walsh? They're all on Walsh now,
I believe
right?
so. Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Yep.
I haven't seen a picture.
He is on Walsh for sure. I know he's on Walsh for sure, because I remember seeing a post, and Mikey might have commented on it like the new kid or something like that. So I know he's on Walsh for sure.
Who builds his motor?
It's all DASA stuff, right?
I don't know if DAS is doing the heads, but then that Gino's the one assembling all that.
Yep. They assemble them in house.
Okay. Maybe it is maybe DASA then.
I think it is.
That's who used to do Joel stuff.
Yeah. I think it's that same similar setup there. And I'm curious too, I guess I didn't even have this on my notes, but I'm curious what's going to happen, because, the structure has changed where Pro-Am, Pro Sport, all that stuff is different now. There's not those 2 classes. There's a 7-lap Pro-Am class maybe, but there's no Pro Sport. Don't quote me on that. And then the Pro-Am class is basically this new open pro class, if that's what it's being called. So I'm really curious to see who's going to run that, because I'm assuming the Phoenix guys are. But are they really going to put Joel on a hybrid quad to race that other class? I'm curious to see. I
I haven't heard any of. I have no idea what you're even talking about. I have not heard about any of.
So
this.
the structure has changed. So we talked about it a little bit when we were talking about the hybrid stuff in the last episode, but so that structure has changed. So Pro-Am and Pro Sport, as we know it, isn't the same. So I don't know. Don't quote me on what it's all being called, but what we know as like the Pro-Am, Pro Sport is going to be on Saturday, and I believe it's 7 laps, and then on Sunday, the opposite day of Pro Class racing, there's going to be an open Pro Class where pros of every pro has the ability to race this open Pro Class on a hybrid quad.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see who's actually going to run it, because I'm assuming it's Phoenix guys are, because I know we've been on record hearing from inside sources saying those are the ones that are lobbying for a full-on hybrid Pro Class. But are they really going to put Joel on one of those bikes to race against I just don't know. Like, it's a talking point, so I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, I don't know. What about, are they still having the stock class?
Stock class is still around. Hopefully that grows, because that thing I think is really cool, because if you can just show up with a bike and race those guys, and I think that's awesome.
I agree with that. I don't know how so if you're a BC rider or ABC rider, are you going to be, and you have a hybrid, are you going to be running that open?
Well, the thing is almost every level of racing right now you can race a hybrid. So from as far as I know, this class will be like for pros and Pro-Am guys.
Okay.
Yes.
On hybrid quads. So you can race so I believe
it's called Pro Mod.
Okay.
That's the name of the class, Pro Mod.
So it's basically an outlaw class. You can race whatever you want. But so if you're a pro, you can race that, or you can race the real pro class or this Pro Mod. Okay. If you're Pro-Am, you can race Pro-Am or Pro Mod, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then you can obviously race the stock class as well. So be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I thought the stock class was good.
I think the stock class is badass.
Too.
Yeah.
I think that I can assume that literally every one of us wishes that they had that when we were around, because that's something that I would have really liked to do.
Yeah.
That has been for fun too.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked like those guys were having a blast. So we talked about Jeffrey and being at Club MX with the guys, working their asses off. And I guess I wanted to kind of touch on kind of how the importance of riding with other fast guys. So, I mean, whether it's Noah, he's doing it with, the other Phoenix riders. Jeffrey is seeing Joel's speed. I guess that's kind of where I think I went wrong in the past. I wish I would have aligned myself with a pro or a past pro to kind of show me the ropes, because the racing really never slowed down for me. And, that's what they talk about happens as you become more weathered as a pro. I know, Sean, you spent some time with, whether it was Joel or you were with Chad at times or whatever.
Yep.
Maybe touch on the importance of riding with other fast guys.
I don't think I took advantage of it like I probably should have. I rode with those guys and, motoed with them, but it wasn't like we weren't, you see Thomas, a perfect example is seeing Thomas and the Fords. Those three they're chasing each other. It's almost like when you see videos from Club MX of the dirt bike guys, those guys have full on motos throughout the day and they're racing everybody. And that's what it seems like that Thomas's program has got going on, which I think would be very, very beneficial to someone's racing program, is to get yourself in on something like that, and to where you're doing race pace every single day. Where for me, I wasn't really like that. I was riding with them, and they would, if I had questions about something on the track or what are you doing here? Yeah, they were there, which was nice to see that. But as for like chasing each other around the track, that we never did anything like that, I don't think.
Yeah, I totally get that. I think I even talked to Thomas about that on the last episode, where looks like those guys are full on moto session when they're practicing, and that's invaluable. So, like I said, I wish that was something that I could have done more of. And I mean, I think you mentioned Fords and Thomas. I think another great example of that is Brandon Hoag, because he spent a bunch of time with Joel, and he literally looks like a younger version of Joel now.
Yep. And it looks like he's been kind of riding by himself
now. Yep.
Yeah.
But last year, he was living with Joel and Carly for a while there, and pretty cool story. We featured that in the past, but kind of because he was literally living with his hero, So, So speaking of Brandon Hoag, the reigning AMA ATV Pro Rookie of the Year, what do you expect from him in 2020? Hammy, you can start.
I think he'll be right up around where like Bryce Ford is. I think those two are going to be going at it all year long. I don't know why, but I just feel like their speeds are real matched. And I think he'll do good. And then maybe we'll see him on the podium. And then, like you said, it depends on who he's riding with. Like right now, if he's only riding by himself, I can't see that like being the best for him. But who knows? He might show up and be like the Iron Man or something, Who knows? But I think if he rides with Joel and links up with some other people, he could definitely be a contender for that like fifth top 5 spot and maybe a podium.
That's where I got him slated. I think he does get another podium probably at some point. I think he's a top 5 guy. I think he's going to push to be a top 5 guy because, and I've went on record saying this before, but he's one of those guys that can like talk something into existence. Like, this is a totally positive comment, but we're like, you can brainwash yourself into being like, I want to win. I think I can win.
Talking into reality.
He's on record saying on this podcast, saying that he wants to battle to win, so that's what he's working towards. So, I think you're right, Hammy. I think Nick Janusa, Bryce Ford, Wesley Wolf, and him are going to battle for that top 5 spot. And, I think so much of that is going to be about consistency. So Sean, will let you hop in there. But I think that's going to be a fun battle to watch.
Yeah, I agree. I don't expect anything less out of Brandon. I think he should be, top 6 most weekends. Just because of the way how strong he came on about middle of the year last year, getting that podium at Unadilla. And I think even the rest of the way after that is qualifying. He was qualifying up in the front, and that put him a good gate pick for come Moto 1. And I expect him to be top 6. And he'll be battling with Janusa and Wesley Wolf and those. It'll just have to come out to be who's more consistent. And I think it'll be fun to watch.
I think it's going to be, like I said, I think that might be the most interesting battle to me, might be kind of for that last top 5 spot. I think that what's going to separate those guys is the starts, Brandon, especially at the end of last year, was a pretty good starter. Mm-hmm. And I think that, obviously we've already touched on Bryce being a good starter. Wesley can kind of be all over the place. He can get a good start or he can not. But, that's going to be key for him because he ended last season. I think he got 4th overall at Ironman. So, he's showed that he's got the speed to do it. And then, Janusa has been 4th or 5th in every single championship that he's raced as a professional, but he's not the best starter. So the one thing I will say is it's hard to bet against Janusa being a top 5 guy because he's always done it, but he might have the toughest competition this year that he's dealt with. But at the end of last year, he got his first podium. So it's going to be, those guys, it's going to be like a battle to the death, I feel like, for that last top 5 spot. I really do. And another guy too is I think that Alan Myers can push towards being in that group. And I think, Parker Wilwerka could be a guy that can push to be in that group too when he's there. So I know he's racing a limited schedule. He doesn't look like he'll be at Daytona, but long story short, it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But again, I think you can expect some flashes of brilliance out of Brandon Hoag. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. I think we'll see Brandon on the podium. definitely a few times this year. I would expect to see it just because of how he turned things around last year, and just once he got that podium and at Unadilla, it seemed like everything started clicking for him, and he was riding really well. It seemed like he felt really good on the bike, and I'm sure he's just been, making that even better in the off season.
Yeah, I'm glad to know too that he to see that he hasn't gotten hurt yet. And that might be a morbid comment, but he's been down south for so long that was my only fear, is that he was going to get hurt, because he's been spinning laps for months.
He's overdoing it.
Yeah, but I mean, he's pretty in touch with his body and his training, it seems like. And we all know that when you spend time down south, like, shit breaks. So, I mean, that tends to happen.
Yep.
So you might go a week or 2 weeks without riding or whatever. But yeah, I'm glad to see he's coming in healthy. Seems like he's got a pretty good program with the TDR deal there. They got nice bikes or whatever, and should be fun to watch. But I think that's going to be a really fun group to watch there. So, I mean, I guess, like, let's get into this, because the way I see it, there's a few different groups, right? So there's the top group, and that top group is obviously the two champions of the class, Joel Hetrick, Chad Wienen. That's tier 1, right? And then that second tier is kind of, I guess, what I would call a close second. That's Thomas Brown and Jeffrey Rastrelli, because you can't separate those two, because they've literally battled their entire career, it seems like. Like, they're actually probably somewhere right now in the middle of a field duking it out with each other. And the thing about Thomas is, like, his program, his bike, like, all that stuff is stronger than it's ever been. But I also think, like, Jeffrey had been better than he was ever been. He's on a good bike in the past, and then he gets sick. So he's on a Phoenix Honda now. Like, I think that's going to be really exciting to watch. That's tier 2. And then, like we just covered, that most interesting tier to me is the third one, with Nick Janusa, Brandon Hoag, Wesley Wolf, Bryce Ford. And I would assume that that's going to kind of be your battle for the 5th spot. I wouldn't be surprised if Bryce gets a podium at some point. I wouldn't be surprised if Janusa picks up another podium at some point. Brandon Hoag, I would put money on, gets a podium at some point. So does Wesley get a podium at some point? Like, we know he's got the potential, the speed to do it. And fitness isn't a problem with him, because he's a cross-country guy. So I think that's going to be kind of the battle for the top 5. Like I mentioned a minute ago, I think that Allen could push to be in that group. I really do. Just depending on how his program is looking. And Parker too, like, he's a guy that can be in that mix.
I just watched that GoPro of Brandon Hoag at Redbud in Parker, with Parker there. And I think those guys, what were they, top? They were top 7, top 6.
About 6, I believe. Yeah. And they were battling hard.
Yeah. Yep.
So and then I guess to finish this off before I let you guys hop in there too much, but so if you take those guys that we just listed and you include Parker, who's not going to be at all the races, but we include Parker, that's 9 guys. So that means that the battle for the rest of them is going to be a dogfight for a top 10 spot between Cody Ford, Wes Lewis, Logan Stanfield, both of the Mickelson brothers, Hayden and Noah, Brogan Geyer, Troy Hill, Ty Hudson, and then also holding pro license for 2020 is Jacob Stevens and Josh Merritt. I don't know when or if we'll see Jacob Stevens, but you could at some point. He does have the license, and then and I presume that Merritt might just be a Daytona only thing. But again, like, we'll see. But if everything was to go to plan for those top guys, you're literally talking about a battle between really good riders for 10th. Like, that's crazy. And I mean, yeah, like, could Cody Ford, he's had a podium. Wes Lewis has had some really good rides. He's won Pro-Am races. Logan Stanfield has potential. We talked about the Mickelson brothers' potential. All these things, like, I really think that you can talk yourself into saying that this could be the best pro class racing we've seen in a long time.
It could be, just because some of these guys, I mean, just breaking inside the top 10, you could consider that you could consider that a decent weekend for breaking inside the top 10.
Absolutely. Absolutely, you could. Yes. What are you thinking, Hammy? I mean, I know that you're on paper not thinking the rookie class is that strong, but when you break it down like that, I think it's going to be really interesting because there's always guys every single year. There's guys that break out of the tier you think they're in and make it to a different tier. Like, who on paper would have said Cody Ford was going to get a podium last year?
Yeah, probably nobody.
So I think it's going to be interesting.
No, you're right. You're right. And I think if you get top 10 in any year, you should be proud of that because that's like they're the best racers in the world. So no matter if there's only 12 guys on the gate, if you're still getting top 10, you're top 10.
Well, I think and I'll let you finish, but for all, just to comment on it, all three of us were like kind of in that realm where if you got a top 10, like that was a good weekend.
Yeah, you going home in the top 10. Yeah, I considered it a good weekend. I considered it a good weekend.
And then each of us got like a 6th or a 7th overall as our best finishes, right? I'm almost positive.
I think
I think both of you had a 6th overall. That was your best finish.
I think I'm a 7th overall, honestly.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I had a 6th place moto finish at Loretta's, but I don't remember what that put me for.
Okay, whatever. So then when you did that, that was like a win. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
So I guess I wanted to say that because I think coming from us, it's like relatively meaningful, kind of talking about that tier of racing because that's where we were. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that all plays out. And just to address it too, not currently signed up with a pro license is Sam Rowe, Dylan Tremelin, Jerron Cochran, Parker Waworka, who I said he sounds like he's going to race some races, not all, very similar to last year. Zach Kazmarek, Ronnie Hagerson, and some of the Argentine riders. So, I think Hagerson is done as far as I know. Sam hopes to hit a couple races like Parker. Tremelin could do the same. I thought I kind of read that somewhere. And I hope that Cochran comes back at some point too, because he was definitely making some improvements last year. And I'd like to see how he was going to stack up with the rookie incoming class. Yep. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if Kazmarek showed up at some of the local kind of races to us too. So just wanted to kind of mention the guys that you might not see at Daytona, but maybe you'll see after that. We all know how tough Daytona is financially to kind of get to. And if you're kind of a guy that's kind of maybe just doing it for fun, maybe you don't go to Daytona. Like there was some years, Sean, right, where that was like the only one you missed, wasn't it?
No, I'm trying to think. I think I went to all of them, I thought.
Did you? Oh, did you? Okay. Long story short.
I missed there was one year where I missed that. Remember when they went to Echecani?
Right after Daytona.
Yes, okay. I did not go to that one.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Because that was like a week turnaround or something.
It was that like weekend. We raced on Tuesday. We raced on that upcoming weekend at Echecani. Yeah. Okay.
It
so
rained
maybe that's
like
what I was
crazy
thinking.
on Sunday.
I knew it was in my head because all I knew was you missed that one race, but you still beat me by like a couple points in the points. So I was like,
that was the one. I did Daytona, but then I didn't go to Echecani.
Okay. Gotcha. So yeah, I think, again, when you break it down in tiers like that, I think it kind of helps at least me understand like kind of the different levels, and you kind of see the guys that are going to be battling with themselves. And again, we saw guys break out last year. Like, I don't think we would have put Brandon Hoag in that group with Janusa and Wesley Wolf last year, but he gets a podium. And like I said, the same thing with Cody Ford and on. Like we saw good rides out of Wes Lewis and this, that, and the other thing. So there's always going to be people that surprise you. And when you try to fit them into categories, let them break out. That is exciting for me. I feel like just to even have this content to be able to talk about it, makes me more excited than I was kind of prior to this. So
yeah, I mean, and then you're looking at it too. There's a handful of guys that are rookies that are coming in that are really good starters. Bryce Ford,
Noah, I think too is a good starter.
Noah's a good starter to where those guys get good starts and run up front. It'll make it make it more exciting for, Joel and, Joel and Chad to be racing hard to get to the front. So, it'd be nice to see these guys get some good starts to be able to get their feet wet, running up there with Joel and Chad, Thomas, Jeffrey, the guys that have been in there the longest.
Well, we all know firsthand what a difference a good start makes. Like if you can start in that front class or in that front group, just you kind of start, whether you can go that pace long-term or not, you kind of pick up that pace for a short period of time. And, and if you're coming from the back, it's like, it feels like you're fighting a losing battle trying to get, cause you can check out on those guys that are battling in the back. If you find yourself in that front part of the class early.
Yep. For sure. Whole shots are key.
Yeah.
Makes life a lot easier.
And again, like it's the last time I'll say it, but that's what makes that third tier so interesting to me, because Janusa might not get good starts if Bryce does, or if Hoag does, or, depending on where Wesley Wolf is too, like that could be the tiebreaker for that tier,
Right.
We've all seen them kind of flash coming up through the pack. Like Brandon Hoag didn't start top 3 when he got his podium last year. It'd be interesting to see. We'll get right back to the show, but now a quick word from our sponsors. And now, please stand up and make some noise for our title sponsor, CST Tires. CST Tires and their Pulse MXR tire have completely overtaken the ATV market. Used by Thomas Brown to clinch a third straight Quad Cross of Nations title, by Nick Janusa as he dominated the Montreal Supercross, and myself, Cody Janssen, as I rode my Pulse MXR fronts and white label soft compound rears to a 2019 national championship in the junior 25 plus class. The Pulse MXR tire, available in soft and standard compounds, offers the highest level of traction, most predictable cornering, and superior wear characteristics than the competition. Join the takeover or prepare to be beat by someone who did. CST Tires, where passion meets the ground. Check them out at csttires.com today.
Anybody that I've gotten to try them, I've heard nothing but positive things back.
We're proud to be Team Blue Crew here at the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast. Why choose Yamaha? Look no further than Chad Wienen's 6 championships in the past 8 seasons aboard his Yamaha YFZ 450R. Not to mention, Yamaha is the leading OEM supporter of ATV racing, and their support of this podcast proves it. For the 2020 ATVMX season, Yamaha's Blue Crew Racer Support Program will offer payout and prize opportunities, including the chance to win a brand new YFZ 450R. For more information, head to YamahaOutdoors.com and follow them on social media at Yamaha Outdoors today. For over 150 years, Valvoline has led the charge by being dedicated to constant improvement and innovation across all disciplines of racing. Valvoline has sponsored some of the greatest names in motorsports, and for the better part of a decade, I've been fortunate enough to be a part of the historically great Team Valvoline. From my commuting vehicles to small engines, race quads, and everything in between, I trust nothing but Valvoline in all of my equipment. I've experienced increased function and durability, as well as longer life expectancy thanks to Valvoline's array of products and lubricants. Since 1866, Valvoline has been focused on bettering your experience, whether on road, on track, or anywhere in between. Upgrade to Valvoline today and check them out at valvoline.com. SSI Decals is a name that is synonymous with ATV racing and synonymous with success. An offshoot of their parent company that was established in 1947, SSI first took shape from owner Ian Harris's passion for ATVs. After making number plates and decals for riders like Chad Wienen, the company quickly took off. Today, you couldn't imagine ATV motocross without SSI decals. The graphics maker now supports all the top teams in ATV motocross, as well as GNCC, Work Series, Pro Motocross and Supercross, Canadian Pro Motocross, short course off-road trucks, UTVs, snowcross, and, 6-time NHRA World Champion Clay Milliken. No project is too big or too small for SSI decals, making your identity stick with championship-level graphics. SSI decals. The Digging Deep ATVMX podcast is brought to you in part by DID Racing Chain and their 520 ATV2 chain. This patented X-ring chain boasts a steel alloy construction for reduced weight, increased strength, and a longer chain life, making it the optimal ATV racing chain. Pick up an ATV2 chain today at your local dealer or wherever DID chains are sold. Wherever you go, go with DID. We're pumped to bring on new partner, Namura Technologies. Since 2001, Namura has led the charge in the ATV and side-by-side market, covering more applications than anyone else in the industry. Namura's advanced piston technology uses a NASA-exclusive aluminum alloy that helps to reduce expansion rates, allows for tighter tolerances, and leads to higher overall engine performance for your machine. For more information about Namura's wide offerings of pistons, rings, gaskets, and industry-leading top-end repair kits, visit your local dealer or online at www.namura.com. Namura Technologies, pistons with an attitude.
We are proud to announce our partnership with Avocado Green Mattresses. We all know that sleep and rest are an important part of any athlete's routine. Avocado's line of natural mattresses and pillows provide exactly the support you need to ensure you perform at your best while you're doing the best for the planet. The Avocado mattress offers zone back support with an internal support unit, meaning whether you're recovering from a hard day of riding or relaxing on a Sunday morning, you will be experiencing next level comfort. You can rest in peace knowing the components in your mattress and pillows are non-toxic, natural, and sustainably sourced. And getting your Avocado Green mattress could not be any easier. They offer a 100-night sleep trial, free shipping, free return pickup, and a 25-year warranty. And if that wasn't enough, rest assured knowing that they have a 5-star rating by verified customers, including some of our Digging Deep staff. Step up your sleep game by visiting avocadomattress.com. We are proud to announce our newest show sponsor, Gripped Gloves. Gripped is an ATV rider-owned and operated brand with the rider in mind and the goal of keeping costs affordable. The Michigan-based family operation recognizes riders' desire to showcase their identity. Owner David Payne's love for eccentric colorways and crazy patterns shows in his product, something not often found in the work of big manufacturers. Here to push stereotypes and limitations, Gripped's drive is to produce a glove with cool colors and designs that won't break the bank. With comfort and quality as key motivators, this family affair is constantly working on the next innovative and improved glove. Get a grip on life, join the Gripped movement because no one wants a bland glove. Check them out today at grippedgloves.com. That's GRIPT gloves.com. We are also pleased to announce our partnership with Bronco ATV and UTV components. Bronco has been an industry leader in replacement hard parts and accessories for all makes and models for over 15 years. With a catalog that includes a full line of electrical components, engine internals like rods and cylinders, all the way down to suspension parts and bearing kits, Bronco is your hard parts source for whatever you need for whatever you ride. Available exclusively through distributors around the world, visit your local dealer or online at broncoatv.com. We are also supported in part by Evans Waterless Powersports Coolant. The best powersports coolant on the market, Evans prevents overheating and boil-over so you never have to worry about harming your engine or having a premature end to your ride due to overheating, no matter what the condition. Designed for use in ATVs, UTVs, motorcycles, snowmobiles, and more, use what the pros use. Upgrade to Evans today. The Digging Deep ATVMX podcast is also sponsored by DP Brakes. A longtime supporter of ATV racing and the world leader in sintered brake technology, DP has been dominating the ATV world for decades by supporting the best four-wheeled racers on the planet. 2020 is no different with an impressive lineup including AMA ATV Pro Class champion Joel Hetrick and his Phoenix Racing Honda teammates. Myself, Cody Janssen, and my 2019 Junior 25 Plus National Championship. Baldwin Motorsports' Nick Janusa, Wesley Wolf, Dylan Tremelin and his 940 racing team, Troy Hill, and more in ATV Motocross. In GNCC racing, DP has 16 of the top 17 pros heading into 2020. This includes the champ Walker Fowler, Bryson Neal, Chris Borich, Cole Richardson, Jared McClure, Adam McGill, and more. These riders continue to appreciate the high performance and impressive durability that their DP brakes have to offer, products that ultimately help place them on the top step of the podium. Available at www.dp-brakes.com. Purchase at your local dealer or even message the show for their contact info today. What are you waiting for? Join the best ATV riders on the planet on DP Brakes. Forworks Carbon's innovative lightweight products include top-notch seat covers, carbon fiber and plastic hoods, tank covers, exhaust shields, shock guards, and much more. Whether you have an ATV, UTV, or snowmobile, Forworks has goodies that'll make you salivate. I trust Forworks for increased function and a sexier look.
Forworks Carbon, always working hard to bring high-quality, innovative parts to the market. Check them out today. Now back to the show. So let's go prediction time. We've talked about it all. Let's go prediction time. So we'll start off with who beats who at Daytona, Thomas Brown or Jeffrey Rastrelli. Hammy, you can take it first.
How long is the moto?
It's got to be 18 or 20 minutes plus 2, right? Like that's what they normally are. Here, I can look it up. I can look it up.
I go Thomas.
Okay. And is that who would you go Thomas for the year as well? Would you go Thomas for beating? I mean,
where's the second round at? Do we know where the second race is?
Texas.
Underground. Is it underground?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, that's hard. It'd be early to put it on that, but I would go Brown, and I'd give a better answer after round 2.
Okay, so the main event for Daytona is 15 laps, and normally it's about a minute lap time. Typically. So yeah.
Sticking with it.
What 84. About you, Sean?
I'm gonna go with Brown.
Go ahead.
I'm kind of like in the air. And the only reason why I would go with Jeffrey at Daytona is because Jeffrey's really good in the sand and riding that. But I'm still gonna have to go with Brown on this one.
And it'll be Jeffrey's first race on this new team,
Phoenix. Yeah, the one thing it's always tough for me to I don't even like to predict really because
I don't either.
I like these guys, right? Like I don't, and that's, I mean, it's what I say doesn't matter, but I like both of these guys and they're always so close. Like, I think it's tough. The one thing that Thomas has going for him though is, man, he had some shit figured out at the end of last year and that bike was working better and was faster than ever before. So, he said it like he was going to just try to keep that momentum going from last year. Gosh, but in the back of my mind, like Jeffrey does good at Daytona. So makes it.
He's got on the podium there before.
He has. Yeah. So I think that,
and set the fastest lap time, if I don't believe, in the first ever one.
Oh, really?
I think, because he got to put his name on the track.
Oh, I didn't even know that. So
pretty sure.
Gosh, it's going to be interesting. So,
I think he was doing well last year and then got hung up on a berm or something, wasn't it?
Okay. He might have been. I can't remember. I know Chad got stuck on a berm last year.
Yeah.
Joel was checked out, and then I remember Chad and Thomas battling. Can't remember what happened with Jeffrey. Did Jeffrey get second?
I think Jeffrey spun out in a corner or something. Because he was battling with Chad right off the rip for second.
So, Sean, who would you give the tiebreaker to for the season between those two? I guess we're almost assuming that one of those guys is going to be the other guy in the top 3.
Yeah.
So who would we put? Who would you put, Sean, in? I guess in that the other top 3 spot.
Thomas.
So Jeffrey did get second last year at Daytona.
Confirmed.
It's confirmed that he got second at Daytona last year. I thought he did because I thought the battle between Chad and Thomas was for third. It's just going to be about the start. That track is so hard to pass on. And last year's layout looked sick. So I really hope that they do kind of that same kind of style of track because that was a cooler track than we raced on.
Yeah, it seemed like the turns, there was the options and the turns flowed a lot better than previous years. I thought, they had inside outsides and they both seemed like they were about equal for the most part.
It looked like a fun riding track. It didn't necessarily look like the best race track. And that's why, man, it could come down to who gets the start between Thomas and Jeffrey,
Yeah.
And at the end of last year, Thomas had his starts figured out. So, Gosh, that's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So I guess moving on then, Bryce Ford is clearly the favorite for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Does he win it?
Yeah. Unless he gets hurt.
That's kind of in the back of my mind too. If he keeps the thing on the rails, I don't see how he doesn't win, especially with the starts that kid gets. If he can not get injured, I think that he's the clear-cut Rookie of the Year favorite. What do you think, Sean?
That's a pretty good possibility. What if he did get hurt? Who do you think would be next?
I think I would probably my reaction is to go either Logan Stanfield or Noah Mickelson.
Okay.
I think Noah's speed is, again, like I said it before, but that kid is so naturally talented. His potential is through the roof. I also think that so last year Alan Myers was 8th in points. He finished just maybe like 10 points behind Brandon Hoag for Rookie of the Year. And I could see Stanfield almost mimicking to a T Allen's rookie season. Like, I feel like even this year, I feel like they're going to ride like the same rider, except Allen's going to have a year of experience. So,
yep. And Allen went off on his own, right? He's not with 99 anymore.
He
correct?
did, and I don't know any details about that. I don't know anything about it, but I'm also curious to see how that affects Allen. Like if it's a springboard to, hey, I get to do my own thing. That's basically the way he sold it on social media. Or is he gonna? I mean, that lack of direction, that lack of, like, when you're on a proven program, like the 969 program is a proven program. It elevated Allen to who he is, obviously. Like, he won his first national championship in the 250 class under the tutelage of Travis Moore. So just curious to see if he could be the same. I mean, I don't think you're going to see any huge changes or anything, but is Allen the same old Allen? Is Allen better now because he's uncaged, or does it take him a while to figure out doing things on his own? I don't know, but I think for pure speed, it might be Noah if we're just throwing Bryce out of this. I think it could be pure speed. It could be Noah. I just look at Logan Stanfield as a really consistent, going to be there week in and week out type rider. Who would you guys pick if it wasn't Bryce? I mean, if something happened to Bryce, I don't want to say he gets hurt, but if something happens, he's not at all the races, who would you pick?
I'll probably go Mickelson because he's riding the same bike. And he does got like crazy talent. I've seen him do some wild stuff on, like, I think a 250 mod that just made me shake my head. So I think if he just puts it together and like gets a good start, he's there. But I've never seen him like known to like be one to like run through the pack.
I don't know if he is either, but man, burned in my memory is that 7th place. Like, in my mind, he got 7th in that moto at Ironman, throw out the last 2 laps.
And he was riding really, really well that moto too.
He looked like, man, I don't know if Bryce would have really beat him or beat him by a bunch if Bryce would have been out there too. Like, that's the speed it looked like he was riding at. So what about you, Sean? Who would you take?
I think I'd go with Mickelson too. I was kind of just staring at Logan Stanfield's name there for a minute because I was trying to think back when he was doing well last year before he got hurt. I think he was on a hybrid.
He was, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I mean, he looked good on that hybrid. And then Hammy says that Noah's been on the Honda for a long time, is comfortable on it. I got to go with Noah on if it was, if something were to happen to Bryce Ford. Then definitely with Noah. So
we'll have
any injuries on anybody by any means. But
oh no, absolutely not. Yeah, we'll have to have a gentleman's bet on even if Bryce were to win Rookie of the Year, because he's the clear-cut favorite. But I got Stanfield, you guys got Mickelson, so we'll see what happens, how that all shakes out. So okay, so my next kind of interesting one is most improved pro from last year. Has to be have been in the class. Who's going to improve the most? Who's going to take the biggest leap? For my money, I'm going to go Cody Ford. I think that a lot of times you see
kind of a real big jump in that second season as a pro. And I think that he's going to be motivated by his brother being in the class. And again, I think that riding with Thomas, riding with his brother, that training regiment, all that, those laps that they pound, I think you're going to see him. Maybe he could break out of that kind of that fourth tier into the third tier. And again, like you have to note that, dude, he got a podium last year. So
and
he can do it.
He led a moto for a while too.
Yeah. So pretty impressive. So most improved pro, it's Cody Ford for me as a prediction. Either of you got anything bold or any predictions kind of there? So you'd be looking at just disregarding the top guys. Janusa, Wesley Wolf, Brandon Hoag, Alan Myers, Cody Ford, Hayden Mickelson, Wes Lewis. Those would be your returning guys. So what are you thinking?
Well, if you ruled out the top, I was thinking of one of the top guys.
Okay. Yeah, that's totally good with me too.
Only reason why is I was thinking of Joel, because Joel's been training down at Club MX, and for the most part, he's about the only quad that's been down there. It looked like Janusa maybe stopped for a few days, and then Jeffrey was up there for a little while. But with Joel riding at Club MX, he's got he's got eyes on him, watching all those dirt bike guys that are there that probably just talk mad shit on quads and hate quads. So I feel like every time that he's going out on the track, he's pushing as hard as he possibly can, and maybe even taking his riding. This might take his riding level up even higher than what it is. I mean, who knows? Time will tell. But I just feel like Joel, maybe there's some spots that maybe Joel's improved on from last year that we'll really be able to tell when the season starts this year. But I was just thinking of that. I shouldn't have assumed that you'd be looking at a mid-pack guy elevating himself. So you'd almost be talking about like Joel kind of separating himself from the pack even more. Yep. And yeah, just because he's been training down there, and I haven't talked to him that much. But yeah, as for anybody else, I think Wesley could be a consistent, top 6 guy or top 5 guy, maybe grabbing a podium here and there if he could just nail his starts. It just seems like
I agree. Yep.
He gets a good start, and then next race he's buried in the back, and he's got the stamina to go to the distance, and so he's always playing catch up basically.
I agree. Yep. What do you think, Hammy? You got anything in mind there? I mean, because maybe Thomas or Jeffrey, but maybe Tom. I thought this is where you were going to go. Maybe Thomas can elevate his game. So I'll let you kind of finish that thought.
Yeah. I think this could be the year Thomas might maybe be able to beat Chad if he keeps getting better starts. And with training with these younger guys, maybe give him some more motivation. And then I liked your answer with Cody Ford, the same thing. I think maybe he gets overshadowed by his little brother. Yeah. And he's kind of like, maybe want to say like, hey, I'm still here. I've already got a year in this, and I've already been on the podium. So like, probably got a little bit of something to prove. You don't want to be overshadowed. And I think, I don't know, there's a lot of guys that I think Alan Myers going on in his own. I think he'll make a big improvement. And I don't know, it could be hit or miss with a lot of these guys. They could either make a huge jump or like go backwards.
That's why we needed to make this episode happen. And then the more I thought about it, the more fun I thought it would be, because there's always guys that don't do what you expect, good or bad. And there's so much unknown. Like, just like you said, is Joel going to be head and shoulders the best guy? I mean, we've basically done this whole episode with barely even talking about Chad.
Go ahead. I got something.
Chad's got 6 championships, and this is the thing I'm going to say about Chad is Chad would not be coming back. He's such a competitor. Chad would not be coming back if he didn't think he was coming back to win with vengeance. So you got that about Chad. Then does Thomas elevate himself? Because at the end of last year, he was strong as could be. Jeffrey's on a new team. And again, like we've covered all the rest of the guys, do they break out of what we expect from them? That's why this is so much fun right now. So I think that
I think that's going to be really exciting.
I think from like the outside, like looking in and not racing with anybody, just being a spectator, probably going to be one of the best seasons to watch ATV racing. I would think.
That's what I was saying before. You can talk yourself into thinking this is going to be the best season to watch we've had in a while.
Yep. I agree.
I think that too, like, I think there's so much unknown, like who's moving up, who's moving down, good starts, bad starts, all these things. So that's going to be really interesting. So the topic kind of on everybody's mind is the upcoming Daytona race. So Daytona winner prediction, Hammy, who you got?
Joel.
Mike
Eli Tomac.
And Eli Tomac. Okay, Sean, what do you got?
Oh man.
Okay, so I'll hop in there then.
Yeah, go ahead.
Daytona's tough to pass, and if it's like last year's layout, it's tougher to pass than ever before. I don't know if that's because of the vintage bike thing. I almost remember there being basically no whoops, right? So tough to pass. Tough to pass.
Like
Joel is a great starter. Joel gets the whole shot, leads wire to wire, wins it. Yeah, I think it's too tough to bet against him on those conditions on a tight track with such a good start game. And before I let you kind of give your thoughts, Sean, I think that's the one thing that I wonder, because Chad has been pretty quiet this offseason. Like, you've seen some videos, and we know he's in Argentina or wherever he is doing the races and stuff. But, like, about his training, you don't see a ton. And I wonder if behind closed doors they're trying to figure out something with those starts, because last year that was his weak link, was starts. Like, if Joel gets – he was on my podcast saying got 19 of 24, 25, 26, 25 motos it would have been because of Daytona. So if he got 19 or 18 of those hole shots, how do you bet against that guy?
Yeah, Joel's really nailed his starts last year. And I think Chad had some issues, not really like issues. It just seemed like he struggled to kind of get out of the gate there a few rounds that,
he struggled to be a top 5 guy in the hole shots at certain races at the end of the year when it was kind of go time. Joel would get the whole shot and Chad was battling to kind of get through. So I think that's going to be – the start is going to be so key that Chad's – I'm wondering if Chad's trying to figure something out. So anyways, Daytona winner, Sean, give us what you're thinking. Because the one other thing too is a couple years ago, I believe Joel and Chad were 1 and 2. Chad was leading. And Chad must have been the year before. And Chad just like straight up kind of did what Joel does, got the whole shot and just slowly inched away. And I remember thinking we were there. It would have been 18. It was 2018. And Chad kind of beat Joel at his own game, getting the whole shot and inching away. And maybe Chad could do that again. So anyways, Daytona winner, give us what you're thinking.
I'll go. I'm going to go with I was almost thinking of going with Brown because they've been getting a lot of rain down there lately.
Okay.
But I'm going to, since you guys are both picking Hetrick, just like what you say with Chad, maybe Chad can pull off a start and, check out. So I think I'll go with Wienen at the opener at Daytona.
I think that it's hard. Again, like, those two guys are just so good. And they're like, it's so hard. I mean, Chad's won so much. He's been so consistent. It's hard to pick against either of them. I do remember very vividly in 2018, and it was like, wow, Chad looks like he's got another gear and just kind of just did his thing to inch away. So much is going to be about the start. Like, if I would like to see if there was an odds calculator, if you could see what the odds were, whoever's in front of each other on the start, especially at Daytona, because it's just a tough place to pass.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah. It'll be better to see once they get to that, the outdoor scene to
exactly.
really, seeing who's who's going to be where and stuff, because it's just hard to predict that at Daytona. Everybody's excited to start the season, and the track's just totally different to what everybody races on all year long. So yeah.
Well, and I think like we're all fans of the dirt bike stuff, Supercross and whatever. And they always say you can't win the championship at Anaheim 1, but you can lose it. Well,
yeah,
you can say that about the Daytona Supercross, because what year was that when Joel couldn't come back? 16, I believe. He landed on Natalie's tire. You mentioned it, Sean. He clipped Natalie's tire, gets into the tough block. He's 25 points down, and he literally worked the entire year to shrink that gap and just couldn't quite do it. I think he had to get off at Redbud or something at the end of the year there, and that kind of stopped his momentum. But Chad ended up winning that championship by a handful of points. Yep. And the difference was that Joel started the year 25 points behind.
Yeah, that's when he jacked his knee all up.
You're exactly right. Yeah.
Problem all year long. But yeah, that can break you definitely. That's why I don't like – it's hard to predict for a Daytona, and it'll be nice to get them back outdoors style tracks and see what they can do there. But absolutely. I'm excited for Daytona. I can't wait to watch it. Hopefully they do a live stream. I was going to try to go down there, but it's just not going to work out.
Yeah, so. I know Hammy was trying to get down there too, weren't you, Hammy?
Yeah, that got shut down after the little surgery. So
yeah, I think we all wish we were there. Okay, so there's just one question left then. Season preview pod. Got to predict a champion for the series. Again, I gave my thoughts. I think that Chad is coming back because he thinks he can win. And I don't know if that would be his swan song. I don't know if you won, if you'd walk away. I really don't know. But he's coming back to try to right the ship from losing it last year, from just coming up just short. Gosh, the one thing though, like Joel is so good at those tracks at the end of the year. Like, it's just like the last couple of years too. It's like he's got it done, not last year, but there's been some years where he got it done at Walnut, at Sunset Ridge, which is Chad's track. Then you go to Unadilla, and Unadilla is a track that Joel is just phenomenal at. And then he just keeps that momentum going. I mean, we know he's good at Loretta's. Redbud's kind of a toss-up, but we've seen Joel do well there. And then to end the season at Crawfordsville, even though it's a different Ironman than the previous, than in the beginning of the year when it's all quads, that is just such a gamut of good tracks for Joel. Yeah. It's tough to bet against him, but man, Chad's a 6-time champ. So it's tough to go against him. So
he's coming back. He's hungry. He's, everything that happened last year with him is already out the window. He's his head's clear, and I'm sure he's excited to get down on the gate and mix it up. And I'm definitely not counting him out for this year. He's definitely will be winning some races, and I think it'll probably come back down to a wire finish.
So if you had to bet the house on somebody, who are you taking? And I know it's tough. It's tough for me too, because I like both those guys. Sean, you're probably closer with both of them than most. Like I feel like you fall right in the middle. You're friendly with both of those guys, so it's not personal by any means. Like I want to see them both win. But if you had to pick one, who are you picking?
Well, I went with that crazy prediction of Joel winning. What was that? 8 championships.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm going with Joel. I'm going with Joel this year to bring home another one.
You're right. I forgot all about that on our previous podcast. What was that? A season review, right? And you're like,
that was after Ironman.
Yeah, season review. And
how many? 8 at least.
What about you, Hammy? Who you got?
I think it's definitely Joel, probably. I think the only thing that slows him down would be like no mechanical failures. And I think other than that, it should be like smooth sailing. Like I wouldn't be surprised to see like a clean like sweep every moto. You guys laugh, but
bold.
You guys laugh, but shit, if his bike don't break, who honestly, I don't know.
just Joel had, and Joel's,
And
I'm
then
sure they
what
figured some
Sean
stuff out.
said earlier, if he's riding down at Club MX and he's going to get faster, he was already the fastest guy.
Yeah, I think that
Like
everybody, go ahead.
I don't know. I think he wins
Okay.
the championship hands down. Maybe it's a stretch going for a clean, whatever, 20 moto sweep. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
I think that, I think that Joel last year, both guys had mechanicals, like everybody had mechanicals.
Mm-hmm.
So Joel had some mechanicals earlier in the year that set him behind. And if Chad doesn't have a fluke chain break or whatever, clip come off at Redbud, Chad's the champ. So that's just tough. If you guys are both like Sean did on the rookie thing, if you guys are both taking hat trick, I'll take Chad. That would put him only one down from Gary Denton. Then I think Chad comes back for another year. So for the sake of wanting Chad around for as long as possible, because we like seeing these battles at the front, I guess I'll take Chad. But yeah, man, it's like splitting hairs between those two guys.
If you were wondering, there was only 5 motos Joel didn't win last year.
That's crazy.
You were wondering.
That's crazy.
So I bet you one of them weekends was a mud race.
Were those 5
The one weekend was 16th and 11th in Crawfordsville.
Yeah,
so
I
I
remember
guarantee
that.
that was rain. And
then he had the issue at Walnut too.
And a 10th.
So you got a 10th in a moto and still got on the podium.
Yeah.
Yep, at Walnut. Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it wasn't for that.
Yeah. So you guys laugh, but he might sweep it.
I guess what I'm saying though is they publicly, him and that team, Phoenix Honda, talked about the problems they were having. So I'm just, for his sake, I'm hoping that those problems are fixed. Chad's program hadn't had a DNF in 7 years or whatever, and it was a chain. It wasn't an engine or something like that. So it's just tough to bet against Chad when that program is so good.
Yeah,
you know?
It is.
But yeah, I guess that's the last question. I don't have anything else. Either you got any bold predictions, hot takes, anything like that. If you want a bold prediction, Bryce Ford's going to get a podium for sure. Stamp it. We kind of commented on it, but I'll put my name on it. I think he's going to get one. Maybe at one of those fast tracks like Unadilla, Crawfordsville, something like that. Anybody else got anything fireworky? We got hot take Hammy in the house tonight.
That's funny. Probably I wouldn't be surprised to see if Bryce got on the podium like a top 2, second, and pulled a handful of hole shots.
Yeah, you'll see hole shots out of him for sure. Yeah. I guarantee it.
But I don't know. It's hard to put something out there that's pretty bold. I mean, I'll say maybe like the head trick sweeping everybody. I'd stamp that before I stamp something else.
I think Janus get Janus on the podium. I think his time, he's due.
So he got one at Redbud last year. Yeah, I'd like to see him get another one. Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did.
He got one. Yeah, he got one but that was big for him. It was his 50th start, and a
Unadilla, right?
Yeah, 50th Pro National, and he got it. So I'm hoping he gets another one too. Hoping he gets another one.
It seems like he never really took any time off in the off season. It didn't. That's what it looked like for me.
If he can get some starts, that's the only thing he's missing.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
But as for anything, I don't really have any other bold predictions. I would agree that Bryce Ford's going to be on the box at some point.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be interesting. I'm going to have I think all of us, the whole ATV world is going to have their eyes on him to see what he does at Daytona. Daytona, for some reason, kind of sparks me as a track he could do well at. So, especially with a good start. So, yeah, guys, I can't thank you enough. This was a lot of fun to talk about the ATV motocross upcoming season. I can't believe it's already here. And again, I got more excited about the season and racing because of the talk we had even leading up to it. And I hope that all the listeners kind of got the same feeling. So again, thanks so much for joining me, guys. I can't thank you enough. Love to bench race with you, and hope everybody enjoyed it.
Thanks for having me on, man. Had a blast. I can't wait to get the season started, and it's going to be a good summer for all these guys, I think.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hopefully be back on sometime soon talking about either Daytona or one of the other races and get another good season going.
Yeah, we'll get you guys back on for sure. Anytime you guys want to come on, you're welcome here. Love it. Are you pumped for them to go racing now or what? I hope you enjoyed this content, and please let us know if you did, because if so, we'll be sure to do more of this as the season progresses. I know we enjoyed it, and I think the more educated we can be as fans, the more fun we'll have watching all the battles throughout the class. I want to thank our guests tonight, Sean Taylor and Tyler Hamrick. I appreciate their time, and I think they're both perfect on the podcast, so thanks to those guys. And thanks to my producer/brother Dallas, who's a busy man but still finds the time to fit the podcast into his schedule. So I appreciate it. Couldn't do it without you, D. Thanks to our sponsors, CST Tires, Yamaha, thanks to Blue Crew, Valvoline, SSI Decals, DID Racing Chain, Namura Technologies, Bronco ATV and UTV Components, Evans Waterless Power Sports Coolant, Fourworks Carbon, DP Brakes, Gripped Gloves, Blenders Eyewear, Mountaineer Brand, Avocado Green Mattress, and Oats Overnight. Support the brands that support our show, and don't forget to use those codes to save. If you enjoy the show, we encourage you to support us via Patreon if it suits you. Simply visit our website, diggingdeepatvmx.com, and click the Support on Patreon button. This contribution will help prompt continued growth and improvement in the show. Perks will be available to those who contribute, including hearing your name on the show. We greatly appreciate the support. Also available now is our show merchandise. Check out our new shirts, available in all sizes and available for purchase on our social media platforms. Shirts are $25 with all proceeds going directly towards growth and improvement of the show. So view this as your opportunity to support the show by getting a cool shirt in return. And remember, you can always call us with your questions, concerns, suggested topics, business inquiries, and more. This is your chance to be a part of the show by calling our voicemail hotline anytime. Call us today at 920-569-3519. That's 920-569-3519. If you've called in, you'll probably hear yourself on the next episode, so we look forward to that. Our schedule got a little jumbled up, but our fan question podcast is coming, and so is an episode with John Natale that we're working on, an episode featuring my girlfriend and her unbiased opinion of myself and the sport, as well as Cody Gibson, Gary Denton, and more. So needless to say, you won't want to miss what's upcoming. The best way to ensure you won't miss a thing is to subscribe to our show on iTunes, on Spotify, on Google Play, wherever you get your podcasts. Follow the show on social media, Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast, and myself, Cody Janssen, for additional behind-the-scenes content. Keep the support coming, and we will keep the fire content coming as well. I love the screenshots showing that you're listening, so send those in, and I promise to keep sharing them. Again, subscribe to the show, give us a rating, tell your friends, share our posts, wear our shirts. It all helps spread the word about us and grow the sport that we love. And remember, the show is available to anyone and everyone at diggingdeepatvmx.com, where you can also find our show sponsors and discount codes all in one place. With that, wishing everyone a safe and successful Daytona ATV Supercross. For Sean Taylor, Tyler Hamrick, Dallas Janssen, and I'm your host, Cody Janssen. Thanks for listening to the #1 podcast in ATV racing. And until next time, thanks for joining us in digging deep with the stars of ATV motocross.
You don't chew big red. What the?